Serena Williams. The name alone was enough to stop the tennis world in its tracks. For 4 years, fans had spoken about her in the past tense. Her records, her championships, her legacy, her unforgettable dominance at Wimbledon. Many believed they had already witnessed her final singles match. They were wrong. At exactly 2 p.m. London time, the final women's singles wildcard for Wimbledon 2026 was officially awarded to Serena Williams. And just like that, the greatest champion of the modern era was back. The reaction was immediate. Social media exploded. Television networks interrupted programming. Former players scrambled to offer their opinions. Within minutes, the announcement had become the biggest story in tennis. Because this wasn't simply another wildcard. This was a sporting earthquake. For months, Wimbledon organizers had remained silent regarding the final wildcard position. 7 of the 8 places had already been assigned. The remaining spot had become one of the most closely watched mysteries in sport. Speculation was endless. Would Wimbledon reward a promising British teenager? Would they honor a veteran nearing retirement? Would they choose a former champion searching for one last opportunity? Very few people genuinely believed the spot would go to Serena Williams. Not because of her accomplishments, because of the magnitude of what it would mean. The 23-time Grand Slam champion had stepped away from professional tennis in 2022. At the time, many assumed her singles career had reached its conclusion. She had built a legacy unmatched by almost anyone in the history of sport. 7 Wimbledon titles, 23 Grand Slam singles championships, 3 decades of excellence. Nothing left to prove. Yet whispers of a comeback had quietly grown louder throughout the spring. First came reports of private practice sessions. Then came training videos. Then came her surprise return to competition at Queen's Club. Partnering with Canadian teenager Victoria Mboko in doubles, Serena showed flashes of the athleticism and competitive fire that had once made her virtually unstoppable. The results mattered less than the message. She was back on a tennis court, and she looked like she belonged there. When Mboko suffered an unfortunate injury that ended their Queen's Club campaign, many assumed Serena's return would remain limited to exhibition appearances and occasional doubles events. Instead, she doubled down. The next announcement stunned observers. She would compete in doubles at the Berlin Open alongside world number 10 Karolina Muchova. Again, the message was unmistakable. Serena wasn't simply making appearances. She was preparing. She was building. She was testing herself. The question everyone kept asking remained the same. Would she play singles? Wimbledon finally provided the answer. Yes. The decision carried enormous significance. Not only because Serena was returning, because she was returning to the place where she became a legend. No court in tennis holds more memories for Serena Williams than center court at the All England Club. It was there that she captured her first Wimbledon crown. There that she dominated an entire generation. There that she built one of the most remarkable records in sporting history. When fans think of Serena in her prime, many picture her standing on the grass of Wimbledon with the championship trophy held high above her head. Now, at age 44, she would walk through those gates once again. Not as a commentator, not as a guest, not as a former champion being celebrated, as a competitor. The implications were enormous. Every player in the draw suddenly had a new name to consider. Every projected bracket became obsolete. Every discussion about title contenders shifted overnight. Because while Serena had not played singles at Wimbledon in years, nobody wanted to be the player standing across the net from her in the first round. Her ranking no longer reflected her ability. Her age no longer defined her threat. And her legacy alone guaranteed that every match would become a global event. Inside locker rooms across the tour, reactions ranged from excitement to nervous curiosity. Some younger players had grown up idolizing Serena. Now they faced the possibility of sharing a court with her at the sport's most prestigious tournament. Others saw opportunity. A chance to defeat one of the greatest athletes in history on the biggest stage imaginable. Either way, everything had changed. The announcement transformed Wimbledon overnight. What had been a tournament centered around established contenders suddenly gained a storyline unlike any other. Could Serena win matches? Could she survive the physical demands of Grand Slam singles? Could she make a deep run? Or was this simply one final chapter in a legendary career? Nobody knew. That uncertainty only made the story bigger. The tennis world wasn't just talking about a wild card. It was talking about possibility. Because throughout her career, Serena Williams built her reputation by accomplishing things people said were impossible. Winning Grand Slams as a teenager, winning after injuries, winning after setbacks, winning after becoming a mother. Again and again, she shattered expectations. Now, one more challenge stood before her. A Wimbledon draw that had already moved on. A new generation convinced the future belonged to them. And a champion determined to remind everyone why her name still commands attention around the world. The final wild card had been awarded. History had been rewritten. And Wimbledon 2026 suddenly became the most anticipated tournament in years. Because Serena Williams was coming back. Not for a ceremony, not for celebration, but for competition. And that changes everything. The excitement spread far beyond Wimbledon. Within minutes of the announcement, the tennis world was consumed by a single question. Could Serena Williams actually do it? Could a 44-year-old legend who had been away from singles competition for 4 years return to the sport's most prestigious stage and compete against an entirely new generation? For many fans, the answer almost didn't matter. The fact that Serena was returning at all felt historic. The hashtag Serena Wimbledon surged to the top of trending lists across multiple countries. Social media feeds became flooded with memories of championship points, iconic celebrations, and unforgettable moments from a career that had transformed women's tennis forever. For longtime supporters, the announcement felt deeply emotional. Many had accepted that Serena's final singles match had already happened. Now, suddenly, they were being offered one more chapter. One more opportunity to watch the greatest champion of her era step onto the grass courts where she had built so much of her legacy. The possibility alone was enough to captivate the sporting world. Yet excitement was only one side of the conversation. The debate intensified almost immediately. Critics questioned whether the final wild card should have been awarded to a former champion instead of an active player attempting to build a career. Supporters pushed back. They argued that Serena Williams was not simply another former player. She was a 7-time Wimbledon champion, a 23-time Grand Slam winner, a global icon whose presence instantly elevated the tournament. The discussion dominated television panels, podcasts, and newspaper columns. Everyone had an opinion. No one was indifferent. And that, perhaps more than anything, demonstrated Serena's influence. Even after 4 years away from singles competition, she remained the biggest story in tennis. Current players were equally fascinated. Many of the women now competing at the top of the sport had grown up idolizing Serena. Some had posters of her on their bedroom walls. Others studied her matches as children. Now they faced the possibility of sharing a court with her at Wimbledon. For younger players, it felt surreal. For veterans, it felt like history repeating itself. One by one, reactions poured in. Some expressed excitement. Others expressed admiration. A few admitted they would be nervous if the draw paired them against Serena in the opening rounds. Because despite her age and long absence from singles competition, one reality remained impossible to ignore. This was Serena Williams. No player wanted to underestimate her. Not on grass. Not at Wimbledon. Not ever. The conversation soon shifted from emotion to possibility. What kind of draw would she receive? Could she survive the physical demands of Grand Slam singles? Would she be capable of winning matches? Could she make the second week? Or was this simply a farewell appearance at the tournament she loved most? The uncertainty only fueled the excitement. Nobody truly knew what to expect. And that unpredictability made Wimbledon 2026 feel unlike any championship in recent memory. Meanwhile, Serena remained characteristically calm. Publicly, she refused to discuss expectations. She focused on training, on preparation, on finding her rhythm after years away from singles competition. But those closest to her understood something important. Serena Williams had never entered a tournament simply to participate. Throughout her entire career, she competed to win. That mentality had never disappeared. The competitive fire that carried her to 23 Grand Slam titles still burned. The same determination that helped her overcome injuries, setbacks, and seemingly impossible odds remained intact. That was what made the wild card so fascinating. Not because Serena was returning, because nobody could confidently predict what she might accomplish. History suggested it would be dangerous to doubt her. Time and again, Serena had proven that expectations meant nothing once the match began. Every era of her career had featured moments when critics believed her dominance was over. Every era had ended with Serena proving them wrong. Now, the tennis world found itself asking the same question once again. Had they underestimated her? The draw ceremony suddenly became must-watch television. Every projected bracket was analyzed. Every possible first-round matchup generated headlines. Could she face a top seed immediately? Could she meet one of the sport's rising stars? Could fate deliver a dream showdown against a player who had once idolized her? The possibilities seemed endless. One thing, however, was beyond debate. The final wild card had changed everything. What began as a routine Wimbledon announcement had evolved into the biggest storyline of the season. A tournament already filled with contenders, rivalries, and championship dreams suddenly revolved around one name: Serena Williams, the 7-time Wimbledon champion, the 23-time Grand Slam winner. The woman many believed had already played her final singles match. Now she was back on the grass, back in the draw, back in the spotlight. And once again, the entire tennis world was watching. Because when Serena Williams walks onto a Wimbledon court, history always feels possible. And in 2026, history was waiting once more. The excitement surrounding Serena's return continued to grow. When asked about the possibility of seeing Serena back in the Wimbledon singles draw, players across the tour struggled to hide their enthusiasm. Some were shocked. Others were inspired. Many simply couldn't wait to see what would happen. One player summed it up perfectly: "I'll be very entertained." That simple response captured the mood of the entire tennis world. Because regardless of where fans stood in the debate, everyone wanted to watch. The All England club had made its decision. The final singles wildcard belonged to the greatest player of all time. And suddenly, Wimbledon 2026 felt bigger than ever. The announcement transformed not only the tournament, but the entire landscape of women's tennis. Now attention turns to the draw. And that's where things become truly fascinating. Because Serena Williams will enter Wimbledon unseeded. That means she could land anywhere in the bracket. She could face a qualifier. She could face a former champion. Or she could find herself standing across the net from one of the tournament favorites on opening day. Imagine the possibilities. A first-round showdown against Aryna Sabalenka. A clash with Elena Rybakina on the grass where she became Wimbledon champion. A dream matchup against Coco Gauff, the young star who grew up idolizing Serena. Or perhaps a battle against one of the sport's newest sensations looking to make her own mark. Every top seed now faces the same uncomfortable reality. Serena Williams has become the most dangerous unseeded player in the draw. She is the wild card nobody wants to see next to their name. And that uncertainty alone has elevated anticipation to extraordinary levels. But singles is only part of the story. The doubles competition carries its own emotional weight. Serena and Venus Williams have already received a wild card entry into the doubles tournament. It will mark another chapter in one of the most iconic partnerships in sports history. Together, the Williams sisters have won 6 Wimbledon doubles titles and 14 Grand Slam doubles championships. For an entire generation of fans, they represent excellence, dominance, and unforgettable memories. Now there is a possibility that Wimbledon 2026 could become their final appearance together on the grass courts where they created so much history. The emotional significance cannot be overstated. Ticket demand has surged. Interest from broadcasters has skyrocketed. And fans from around the world are preparing to travel to London for a chance to witness history. Yet beneath the excitement lies a deeper question. Can Serena still compete at the highest level? At 44 years old, she faces challenges unlike any she encountered during her championship years. The game is faster, the players are younger, the competition is deeper, and she has not played a Grand Slam singles match in years. The wild card guarantees nothing. No victories, no magical run, no fairy tale ending. It provides only an opportunity. What happens next will depend entirely on Serena herself. And if history has taught us anything, it is that betting against Serena Williams has rarely been a wise decision. Her entire career has been built on proving doubters wrong. Every major chapter of her legacy includes moments when critics questioned whether she could still compete. Time after time, she answered on the court. Now she has another chance to do exactly that. For Alex Ila, the story carries an even more personal meaning. Like countless young players around the world, Ila grew up watching Serena dominate the sport. She studied her matches. She admired her achievements. She dreamed of competing on the same stages. Just weeks ago, Ila spoke openly about what Serena's return meant to her. "It's incredible," she said. "I never thought I would experience being on tour while Serena Williams was still competing. At the time, it felt like a distant possibility. Now it feels real. For the first time, there is a genuine chance that Alex Ila could share a court with the player who inspired an entire generation. Not as a fan, not as a spectator, but as a fellow competitor." The thought alone highlights how extraordinary this moment truly is. The next generation is no longer chasing Serena's legacy from afar. They're sharing the stage with her. As Wimbledon approaches, another storyline continues to develop. The race for seeding positions remains intense. Every ranking point matters. Every match carries added significance. For players like Ila, a strong result in the final grass court events could dramatically alter their path through the draw. But regardless of rankings, seedings, or projections, one fact remains undeniable. Wimbledon 2026 has become unlike any tournament in recent memory. The return of Serena Williams has changed everything. The draw has become more dangerous. The spotlight has become brighter. The stakes have become higher. And millions of fans who thought they had already witnessed Serena's final chapter are now preparing for one more unforgettable story. Whether it ends in triumph, heartbreak, or something in between, the entire sports world will be watching. Because Serena Williams is back. The greatest champion of her generation is returning to Wimbledon. And once again, history feels possible. At Court Legacy, we bring you the stories that shape the sport, from breaking news to the moments that define careers. Subscribe for daily tennis coverage, exclusive analysis, and the biggest stories from around the world of tennis. And now the question belongs to you. Did Wimbledon make the right decision? Should Serena Williams receive the final singles wildcard? Or should the opportunity have gone to a younger player trying to build their future? Let us know in the comments below. Because one thing is certain. The countdown to Wimbledon 2026 has officially begun.